A lot of finger pointing is happening right now as FTX crumbles, and we need to find out who to blame. Since I am the influencer who created T-Rex Inu in order to scam someone, I am the most qualified person to speak on this subject. The finance YouTubers who promoted FTX are under fire right now. They were paid money to promote a company that ultimately went bankrupt and caused customers to lose money. A lot of videos are attacking them. Are they to blame? There is one bad actor here. Sam Bankman-Fried is essentially a degenerate gambler who got greedy and lost. Everyone involved is now taking the blame for one man's actions. FTX had signed a 19-year deal with the Miami basketball arena for $135 million. It was set to be called FTX Arena until 2040. That deal went up in flames. During last year's regular season, the Miami Heat had an attendance of over 800,000 people. In 2022's Eastern Conference Finals, the Boston Celtics beat the Miami Heat in a close Game 7. The game averaged nearly 10 million people watching, with an estimated peak of over 12 million. In case some of you don't watch sports and aren't sure why I mentioned ratings, what do you notice about this image? Between the live audience, people who watched highlights on YouTube, and anyone unaccounted for, we're talking 15 million people being advertised FTX in one night. Major League Baseball has signed a long-term partnership with FTX, making the first time that a North American pro sports league has partnered with a cryptocurrency exchange. The global partnership makes FTX the official crypto exchange brand of MLB. MLB umpires had an FTX patch on their uniforms during games. How many people do you think received an advertisement from FTX while watching MLB games? 5 million, 10 million, 20 million? TSM Esports signs $210 million sponsorship with FTX Crypto Exchange. TSM Esports has a global audience. They were getting $21 million per year for the next 10 years to be sponsored by FTX and advertised to their massive audience around the world. F1 Team Mercedes signed a multi-year sponsorship deal with FTX in September 2021. Yet another organization that had a massive worldwide audience sponsored by FTX. The first argument I'm presenting is that FTX had global sponsors with audiences exponentially larger than anyone sponsored on YouTube. From my perspective, if you're looking to place blame and you're a logical and reasonable adult and use a weighted scale, then finance YouTubers should receive such an insignificant amount that it's not even statistically important. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen were featured in this FTX ad as sponsors. Stephen Curry was also an official FTX sponsor as seen in this ad. This FTX ad featuring Larry David has been seen 46 million times. Tom Brady and Stephen Curry are scamming people. Do you understand how much bigger the reach and how much more influence these celebrities have than finance YouTubers? I'm not trying to tell you who to blame. I'm just presenting the argument that if you were someone who's blaming influencers, then those who are reaching 50 to 100 million people probably are a little more at fault than someone with a fraction of the audience size.
I actually think it's worse than that. I talked to a lot of these guys and they were fooled. That's the scariest part. So many of these experts who are giving you guys advice totally bought into this Sam character as this genius billionaire, right?
I think CoffeeZilla makes an argument that many in the comment section do, which is finance YouTubers are supposed to be finance experts and they're giving financial advice and they should know better is essentially the argument. Investors who put $2 billion into FTX face scrutiny too. Venture capital firms and investment funds showered the failed crypto exchange and its founder with money. Forbes estimates Sequoia Capital invested $200 million. Paradigm, a fund focused on crypto and Web3 tech, invested an estimated $215 million. You have some of the smartest investors in the world investing $200 million into FTX, and somehow finance YouTubers should have known it was a scam? That doesn't really add up. I'm sorry, CoffeeZilla, but that's not an argument that holds any weight. Forbes provided a list of institutional investors who gave money to Bankrupt Boy. BlackRock was an investor in FTX. I'm fairly confident that they did more due diligence than anyone and couldn't predict the behavior of one individual. Forbes lists FTX as having 24 different top-notch auditors and financial firms providing services to ensure compliance in a well-run organization. The point I'm making is that if you're someone who is placing the blame on finance YouTubers, then you're stating that they should have known it was a scam, even though hundreds of people had full access to the company and didn't know what was to come.
I think it exposes a big gaping flaw in this influencer world where it's not just the greed, it's just this systemic failure of people to recognize their own lack of expertise.
I strongly disagree with CoffeeZilla here because some of the smartest minds in the world were fooled by Sam because you can't predict what Sam pulled on everyone. Gary Gensler is the sheriff of Wall Street, so why couldn't he rein in Sam Bankman-Fried?
Sam Bankman-Fried, it appears from your calendar on March 29th, 2022 at 4 p.m. came in and actually met with you.
In an ideal world, the SEC head would have spidey senses for fraudsters. Maybe he is complicit somehow too. And how are we all supposed to know? Even BitBoy Crypto acknowledges that someone being sponsored by FTX isn't the bad guy and that no one knew what was going on. Just in, FTX Telegram admins released statements saying the exchange has been hacked. What we witnessed is one person committing some of the worst financial crimes of our time. SBF deserves to be in jail for defrauding millions of investors and customers and causing absolute financial mayhem. Look, I'm not here to tell you how to think or what to believe. I've just seen so much hate thrown towards finance YouTubers as if they were the problem. This is a situation where one bad actor has caused billions of dollars of harm and no one knew. Influencers are not the problem. I consider CoffeeZilla a good friend and I spoke to him on the phone for about an hour about this topic, but I strongly disagree with his video and I don't think it was fair to influence people into thinking finance YouTubers were the problem. What's funny is I was actually chatting with Tom Nash the night he received the offer to promote FTX and I told him he should partner with them. I'm friends with all of the influencers who promoted FTX, so if you want to get mad at finance YouTubers, you're more than welcome to be mad at me too. Since it was such an obvious scam apparently, then I'm an idiot too. The result of what happened in Sam's behavior is not what influencers were promoting. If you use a weighted scale, the percent of blame should be as follows: 100% on Sam Bankman-Fried and 0% on others. Keep in mind that everyone involved here has experienced damages. Every innocent customer has lost their funds. Finance YouTubers have experienced reputational damage. Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, Stephen Curry, and others have experienced financial and reputational damage. The Miami Heat and MLB have experienced damages as well. Even the venture capital firms are losers here as they lost multiple hundreds of millions of dollars. If you want to place blame, why not send it to all the numerous VC firms who funded Sam Bankman-Fried? I'd argue that without them, this whole fiasco never happens. With investing, there's variables that you can't predict or plan for, which is where risk comes in. In this case, no one could have predicted the CEO of an exchange would literally take all of his customers' funds and gamble it away. As I'm making this video, reports are saying that FTX getting hacked is likely by an insider, so it's entirely possible that Sam has now hacked into his own company to rug pull the last remaining funds before he goes on the run. If you're someone who has lost money and were influenced to buy crypto on FTX because of a finance YouTuber, it's totally understandable why you'd want to blame them. I love CoffeeZilla and told him I strongly disagreed with his video because when he puts out the video that he did, I think a lot of people are going to place their negative energy towards the wrong people. Andre and Graham and others are taking a lot of heat right now, which I don't think is fair. Their intentions were never to scam people. They are not incompetent financially, and they certainly are not greedy influencers trying to maximize their income at the expense of their followers. If you're someone who thinks Andre and Graham knowingly promoted a scam, then are you saying Stephen Curry, the Miami Heat, MLB, and their lead investors were scamming their fans too? If you aren't, then why not? Even the employees who were in the code base didn't know, but using the same argument, they're grifters out to scam the world too, I guess? In sports, when a team starts to lose or goes on a losing streak, everyone begins pointing the finger at each other looking to place blame. You're seeing this a lot with Russell Wilson right now. The same thing happens when people lose money. Everyone wants to find someone to blame. Sam and whoever in his close circle are to blame. It's likely we're going to find out that it was a Bernie Madoff level of financial crimes and evil. I enjoy living in a world where everyone has a voice and everyone has the ability to make a video calling people scammers if they feel that way. We all should, because dissenting dialogue is healthy and how we move forward as a group. I want you to voice your opinion even if you disagree. I may even receive heat in the comment section. It's totally cool, as long as you argue using logic and reason and not emotions. My final argument is that there's no reasonable logical path pointing to finance YouTubers as being scammers for promoting what everyone believed to be a well-run operation. I hope you at least consider my argument before you run around calling my friends scammers. Thanks for watching.